What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Martin Gore, and we're returning to his 2003 Counterfeit Squared or 2 album, and the next track in the playlist is In My Other World. It sounds like a phrase that may relate to a mental place more than a physical place, somewhere you go to either feel differently or be part of some different experience. Now, maybe it is a physical place, or at least a scene in which one can be a different type of person than you might be required to be in your normal world. But yes, the idea of maintaining 2 worlds, or maybe even more than 2, is, I suppose, not an alien concept. I think a lot of people do it in different ways. But yes, it suggests maybe a desire to have a refuge or a place where one is more welcomed or where you feel more comfortable relative to harsher or more difficult realities. That was what I thought when I looked at it. Let's see what it is in practice, or at least what I can pick up on a first listen. This is Martin Gore. The track is In My Other World, and it's from his 2003 Counterfeit Squared or 2 album.
Clouds of happiness. In my other world, my heart beats red. There is no gun pointed at my and I don't really want your kiss. My thoughts don't make me cry. My heart's not filled with gray sadness. My ears can't hear lie. See your face. I've never heard your name. My heart is still, my thoughts are gone, and light has filled the space. My pain is bliss. I own your soul. I own your kiss. In my other world.
I think that song is especially well arranged and composed sonically because it seems to express the dichotomy of the lyrics quite perfectly, meaning it sounds very tranquil and mellow and lush and warm and inviting, but the song is speaking to, I think, an attempt to deliberately create a fantasy world, a delusional world where you can mask your pain and suffering and weakness and bad thoughts about your life, about the world, and thus essentially deceive yourself, or at least, again, create a sanctuary where all the harsh realities that have come seemingly mostly from his emotional life. I mean, he's talking to presumably a woman, or at the very least, someone who meant a great deal to him and he was physically intimate with, but he's saying, not only do I wish that I'm in a world where every thought of mine is a warm cloud of happiness, which already suggests a very fantastical world that is not like the more nuanced, mixed, and often disappointing and painful real world. But he's saying, I wish, I didn't even want your kiss, or I don't even want your kiss in this other world, and it's like I never met you. So it's like he's trying to remove all of his experience that maybe was desirable at some point, but now is the source of heartache and heartbreak and pain and emotional anguish. So in this other world that he creates and goes to, he's masking all that, and it's as if none of those experiences ever happened. And there's a line where it's almost like he's saying, in the real world, sometimes he feels suicidal. He's got this gun to his head, but in this other world, it's like that's not the case. Because again, all the pain and suffering that maybe brought him to that psychological despair and dangerous type of feeling never happened, or it's like he can pretend it never happened. So yes, it's a very beautiful tune, but it sounds like it's all a fiction, a creation, an attempt to deceive his own feelings to, forgetting all of the pain that he's actually feeling. And I wondered, it's a really floaty, dreamy type of sonic atmosphere. I was thinking maybe this speaks to an altered state of mind, like he's intoxicating himself to get to this other world where everything is numb and it's like the experiences didn't happen and he can forget his pain, which in Martin's case, knowing what I've read about him and what people have commented in the Depeche Mode reactions, I think alcohol was his particular demon. So I wondered if that was maybe part of it. I think if it is, it's less significant. I think it was just the sonic stylings that had a bit of this psychedelic or, again, mental experience that is numbed and dulled relative to being, more perceptive and attentive to sensation and pain ultimately in the real world. But yeah, if that is a factor, I think it's a implied and small part of what he's saying here. I think the main thrust of the tune is that he goes to this other world where it's like this person doesn't matter to him. All the experiences and heartbreak that have led him to be so deep in suffering never occurred, and thus every thought is this little happy cloud, and he can just exist in a way that is so far divorced from his actual feelings. So yeah, it's a tragic song, but it's also elegant in its beauty, which I think speaks to his retreat into this fantastical sanctuary. So a really well written tune. His vocals sound a bit faded, like there's an effect on them, which seems to fit because he's off in this floaty headspace of fake reality, not the cold, clear, and often harsh reality of the real world. So yeah, an incredible tune by Martin. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.